That's over $75,000 a year off of 3 days a week. Welcome back to another episode of Weekend Truckin. On this episode, we're diving into how to make full-time income with part-time effort. And I'm going to show you this as we are taking a family holiday vacation, and the little guy is already passed out. And there is the teenager and the old Prego wife coming in hot, looking so serious. All right, so we are on our way to North Dakota, making a pit stop. Freaking teenagers. What's so funny? What are you doing? Miles, why is she being so weird? So this is a short little 600-mile trip we're making, breaking it up into 2 days. So we're gonna stop in Mitchell, South Dakota, and then we're gonna make our way. What's so funny, dude? You stop it! You! How dare you? Anyways, we're gonna talk about how you, like me, can make full-time money on a part-time hustle. Stay tuned. All right, we're off day 2 of a 600-mile trip. About to be a 3-day trip. We're going to Keystone. You ready? Walk and roll. Let's go. But first, a stop for the essentials: gas, Monsters, and that's it. So again, stay tuned for how you can make full-time money with a part-time hustle. But first, some B-dubs. Oh, what up, sissy? North Dakota? Are you gonna say it? North Dakota? Okay, so 2 Mount Rushmore trips, all within maybe a 3-week period. But how am I able to do this when I'm a gym owner who took a huge hit during COVID, now working 3 times a week, going on vacation? Let's dive in. So what I want to do for you right now is dive in and show you the recap of the last 3 months during this RV transport endeavor. I want to show you that you can gain full-time income with part-time effort. This isn't a gimmick. I don't care what some 30-year vet that's in a semi-truck says, how you can't make money in RV transport. I want to show you that if this is an endeavor that you're intrigued in, or maybe you need a change of pace because you're tired of the monotonous 9 to 5 that you're working, or this or that, your schedule controls you, whatever it may be. I want to show you that just maybe there's a different outlet, and maybe you'd be interested in what RV transport can do for you. Maybe you're somebody like me that was successful by, quote unquote successful pre-COVID, and then you get smacked in the face and say, hey, listen, you're unessential, and you know what? We're all in this together, but you're gonna need to find a way to pay for, your bills, your family. Oh, not to mention, you need to find a way to continue to support the team members, the employees that you have under you as well. But, hey, we're all in this together. I know. I digress. But what I want to do is I want to show you that there's other options out there in terms of providing and bringing in a decent income. So when my gym gets back to pre-COVID numbers and we are successful, I'm still going to continue to do this because I enjoy it. Like, I'm out and about on vacation with my family. This is the second time I've been to Mount Rushmore in the last few weeks. And the first time I got paid to come out here. So you get to choose where you travel to, and you get to set your own schedule. Now, before we get lost in the numbers, I would travel to various places. A lot of the times it seemed to be to Southern California for different mentorship programs. I would go different national conferences, this and that, for the gym business, but nothing like this, where you get to choose where you go, what you see, how quickly you get back. So before we get lost in the numbers, I just want to go over the ones that you care about the most. So what did I put in my pocket after doing this for 3 months? On average, I've put just over $5,100 every month in my pocket. That is after paying all my fuel expenses while on the road. So that's your only direct variable expense. If your truck isn't moving, you're not spending any fuel. When we get into, your insurance, your truck payment, things like that, those are coming out of my pocket money, the money that I'm putting over into my personal account. Those are write-offs. Those are business expenses, but I'm paying those out of my personal income. We could have a whole discussion on nuts and bolts of that. Maybe that's a later video. But I'm making over $5,000 a month, and I have a set schedule now of 3 days a week. So when I had said, on average, I'm putting over 5,100, prior to a few weeks ago, I didn't have my, clock in, clock out, so to speak, schedule really ironed out. I was trying to jive in and just get a good feel for, the wife's schedule, just the home life and when I can get away, whatnot. So now we have it figured out, leave Wednesday night, get back Friday evening, if not Saturday morning, just depending on the drop location. Did I make more money than that? Like, to put in my pocket? Yeah, so I put some other money in a different pocket, and I called that my maintenance account. So I have over $3,500 saved up for when the issues come, because they will come. So is it more profitable than making over $5,000 a month? Yeah, I actually, I believe if the numbers were right, just over 6,000. I think it's 6,300 is what it averaged out to over the last 3 months that I actually put in my pocket after that direct variable expense being fuel. But you have to be wise in any endeavor, not just in RV transport, but you have to plan for the things that will come. So you need to set money aside for the issues that are going to happen when you're using a truck for hauling. When it comes to, general maintenance, say oil changes, things like that, that's coming out of my personal pocket. When it comes to having an issue on the road and I blow a tire or something, that's coming out of that maintenance account where it's cash. It's literally money in hand, but it's just set aside for issues that are unexpectedly going to happen. There's ways you can mitigate breakdowns And maybe that's another video. I think it should be, because I get a lot of flack from the old G's, the vets in the industry of professional driving on, hey, this isn't profitable if you're in the wrong business. Well, I think if you take a proactive approach to anything, then you mitigate a lot of issues down the road instead of just blindly going. And there are several things that you can do to help ensure that you're not going to have as much wear and tear on your truck, so that you can be more profitable, have less issues. So if you do the math, $6,300 a month, if you are on pace for doing that, that's over $75,000 a year off of 3 days a week. So you could be somebody that just wants to be on the road all the time. You don't have anything that holds you back or, whatever. You're going to make more money than that. What I would caution you at is be careful with how many new shiny things that you feel you need to have if you're going to get into this. Because if you have $1,000 truck payment, if you have a lot of personal debt already, and then you figure it out that you have to be on the road 5 days a week, and more so how you should look at it is not how many days you have to be on the road, but how many trips do I need to be taking in order to cover my expenses and, have money that I'm able to save as well. Again, preventative measures for future issues. You don't just need to make enough money to get by and survive, but you need to be making enough money in anything that you do to be able to put money aside for future issues. And if a future issue is, hey, I'm trying to save up enough money for a down payment and I want to stop renting and own, yada, yada, you have to be saving accordingly. But let's dive into the actual numbers over the last 3 months. So here they are. Now, what I want to show you is just, here's how it's labeled. Destination, dealership, the dates I picked up, what yard. I'm keeping track of mileage, so total mileage just comes in at tax time. Same thing with days worked and overnights as far as standard deductions. But then we get to payout. So this up top, I keep track, and you have access to this. I'll put the link in the description. You have access to this. It's a blank sheet. I tell you how to utilize it. The maintenance. So after I get done with a run, so on that first run, 78, I'll transfer that from my personal account to a maintenance account that I have, and then I'll check that box so that I know that I did it. So gas expenses and then actual profit. So over 3 months, I've made $15,517.19. And then really, if you think of it, you can add that $3,500, but that's where you need to be careful. You need to have the discipline to save so that when an issue comes up, because it's not if, it's when, that you have money set aside that either covers it completely or puts a huge dent in, the repair bill that you have. So this is it, we come over here, we look at, how many trips was it? There is a total of 20 rows, 2 being the header. So, that's 18 trips. Again, a lot of info here, but the biggest takeaway that I want to get across is, is there money to be had, and at what expense, in the sense of how many days a week do I need to be doing this? Other things that I have added in since the initial is just, loaded miles per gallon, a win factor. I created a little system on how to track that. It's very unscientific, but it just gives me an idea. And then, I keep track of the trailers. So one of the things as far as mitigating wear and tear is when it comes to trailer weight, I never go over 10,000, except for down here. That was a favor for my dispatcher that just said, hey, are you able to take one over to, I think it was somewhere in the Sioux Falls, South Dakota area? I need one that needs to go. So I was like, oh, sure, man. I'm just getting ready to look at booking something. So I did it not asking any questions. And that was, other than maybe the first one, which I didn't track at that point, was the heaviest trailer, the heaviest camper that I've hauled. I'll also keep track of just notes on, would I drop there again? Were they friendly? Did they write no driver damage? And then different comments for it. But here it is. If this is something that you're interested in, 1, yes, there's money to be had. 2, you don't have to be on the road all the time. The disclaimer, the catch to that is it depends on your financial situation from a personal standpoint and from a barrier of entry standpoint. Like the video I talked about, hey, what does it cost to get started? If you go out and get a brand new truck, sure, that it's been well maintained because nobody's had it before you, but that you're paying a premium for that. And so that may change how much you have to put into the business to get out what you need out of it. But I just wanted to show you that there is money to be had. And then so 3, as long as you're preparing for issues to come, this can be a positive experience in your life. If you're reckless with your money and that $3,500, you don't save it and set it aside, like, oh, but it's at $5,000 now, I'm gonna take half of it. And then you have a catastrophic issue. Well, you just had a bad experience with the RV transport industry or the professional driving industry, not because it did you wrong, but because you weren't disciplined to save cash for when you knew that you were going to need it. That's really it, guys. Again, I just wanted to recap on what I've been able to do over the last 3 months. Again, I'm averaging, those are my numbers, I'm averaging 3 days a week, 1 trip a week. I'm doing 1 camper a week, and it's allowing me essentially to survive, since we're all in this together, and not strain my business so that it can survive and it can still pay my team members what they deserve to make, because I'm not going to make them take a loss and cut their wages for something they have no control over. And given that they're actually doing more work now in terms of just the extra precautions that are in place. So yeah, there's that. But if you're somebody in a similar situation, if you're somebody that is just interested in RV transport, if you're somebody that wants a total change of scenery, maybe this is for you. I don't know. But don't listen to that old trucker that says you can't make money in this. Yes, you can. Depends on how you define profitability. That depends on how you write what success looks like. This is extremely successful for me. I think it could be extremely successful for you. It just depends on where you're at. Are you disciplined? Because you're going to need to save money. And what do you want to get out of it? So that's it. That's all I got for you. If you found this video helpful, help me grow this channel and subscribe. Hit that like button. Help us get the word out in terms of RV transport and how it could positively impact you, your family, your income, your success. And stay tuned for the next video. All right, guys, it's been a pleasure, and I will see you on the flip side.